Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Detroit Red Wings franchise mode here in NHL 21. So in last episode, we had the draft and re-sign stage, and in the draft, we didn't have the greatest draft because we didn't have a whole lot of picks, but then again, we were also a playoff team, so our pick was like 22nd overall, so I wasn't expecting a lot. And yeah, anyways, in the re-sign stage, we let go of quite a bit of players just to make room for some of the younger guys who are going to be jumping up this upcoming season. And yeah, now we're in free agency. We don't have to sign really a whole lot. I did get one comment that I'd like to go over from my buddy, the Canuckadian. He says, if any of your lines need a power forward, maybe take a look at Tom Wilson. $3.9 million for an 85 overall. Looks like a decent deal. What I like to do is I like to write down players I have with their lines, overalls, and player types. I find it helps in free agency to see what player type that line needs and where they would slot. And you are right, that would be one deep free agency class. Definitely check for two-way contracts in free agency as well. Sometimes there are elites hiding that are 80 overalls, and you can get on two-way deals. Yeah, that is true. I didn't actually look for that. So first, let's actually take a look at our roster, what we currently need. And I do usually actually write down also like my line combinations for the season upcoming beforehand, so I could see what I'm missing. I haven't done that in this case just because I've been a little bit busy with work, but at the moment I'm still not really fully sold on Suzuki jumping to the NHL, but he might be better than a 78 next season, so I think I'm going to be okay with him. As for these guys, Garrel, I might keep in the AHL for 1 year because he's definitely way more offensively minded, and if he is on our lineup, he'd probably be more of a fourth liner. So I might keep him in the AHL for just 1 year down there, and we would have to sign like somebody like Tom Wilson maybe for the NHL. And yeah, we don't actually have a lot of right wingers in specific. Like we have guys that are more left wingers that could play right wings. So we could definitely bring in Tom Wilson if he fits our system. And then defensively, we do have enough players for sure. We probably will have to trade away somebody because like Vero and Wallender, I would rather give them ice time technically over Bodie Wild and stuff like that. But I don't know. We'll see how that pans out when Bodie Wild signs. But we definitely need a backup goaltender. That is something that we need to find. So let's go into the free agency and sign some players. We're going to definitely sign a goalie, and then we'll look maybe at Tom Wilson as well. So first let's find that goaltender because that's something we definitely need. So I don't want somebody too crazy overall wise. I would like just a standard backup. Stuart Skinner, how did he play again? Not great. I would like to find maybe like a kind of a cheat code of a backup. Tuukka Rask, not great either. Pecorine, they're probably going to drop off a lot. Pecorine actually played pretty good, but he was with the Sens. Yeah, he played pretty good as a backup, but I don't know if he would play good again this upcoming season. How about Malcolm Subban? Not great numbers. Oh, Phoenix Copley. He was playing as a AHL goalie, though. Yeah, he's not much of an NHLer. This is going to be probably pretty tough to decide on a backup. Eric Comrie, again, we could always bring him back. He was pretty good as a backup for us. What year was it? Oh, no, as a starter this year in 21-22. Who do we want to bring in? Whoa, Thomas Grace. Is that AHL or NHL? That's NHL numbers. Wow. He simulated really well as a backup, but he didn't win a lot. But the only thing is he's 38, so he's probably going to drop off. What about Pavel Francouz? Yeah, this is a tough decision who we want to sign. Kakinen, not great. Jack Campbell didn't play last season or what? Yeah, he hasn't played in a few years. It's kind of weird. Who are we going to sign? Because there's a lot of older goalies. Fleury was also in the AHL. Yeah, we're kind of getting into the iffy territory, I think. Samuel Montembeault, bring him back. He was in the AHL last year. I don't know who we want to go after. Let's go back up to like maybe somebody that's still listed as a starter so they can kind of alternate with Tristan Jarry to an extent. Georgiev's not great. How about Hill? No, Aiden Hill's not great either. Yeah, I think we might have to just go for somebody like Stuart Skinner. Yeah, you know what? We'll give Skinner a chance, even though he didn't have a great season last year. We'll give him a 1 year deal. at... Wait, is he an RFA or no? No, he's a UFA, but he would be in an RFA status after 1 year, which is actually kind of interesting. Because we're not going to need him probably super long term because we do have a lot of AHL goalies. So we'll give him 1 year at, 1.7 should be fine. So that will give us our backup goaltender that we need. And then let's take a look at Tom Wilson, who I think is a right winger. Yep, he is. There he is, 3.9 for 3 years. I'm not going to do 3 years though, for sure. And he's an 85 third line scorer. How does he simulate? Pretty decently, 42 points last season, -7. Okay. It's not too bad. How does he fit our system? And he actually, wow, okay. It looks like he could fit our third line. So that actually might be a really good pickup. Thanks to the Canuckian for suggesting him, because I didn't even see that. So yeah, we're going to assign him for 1 year. Just because we might not be sold on Guerin right away. Like I would probably rather Guerin be in the AHL for 1 year since he's more offensive, and then he could jump into the NHL when he's more of a third liner. Because I don't really want an offensive fourth liner. I would rather a defensive fourth liner. So yeah, we'll just bring in Tom Wilson. He might be a bit too good for our team. Like eventually our team might have to like scratch somebody that we don't want to, but it doesn't really matter. So yeah, we'll sign Tom Wilson, and yeah, that is pretty much it. Let's see if we get those guys. We should probably, because I think we were the only ones interested. Jonathan Taze, 3rd to 7th, and Patan for 2nd to 2nd. No, thank you, Islanders. What kind of trade offer is that, man? I'm not going to accept any trades this offseason. Skinner is accepted, which is great. So we get our backup goaltender. And Tom Wilson's also accepted. Okay, perfect. Yeah, this team's going to be pretty good, I think, this upcoming season. We do have a pretty good squad now. So yeah, I'm going to advance to next season, and then we'll take a look at our lines, and we will get started with the season simulation. Okay, guys, so here's our lineup. So we got Zadina, Larkin, Mantha, Raymond, Voleno, Kubalik, Bertuzzi, Taze, Wilson, and then Timashev, Suzuki, and Fogel. So our lineup looks pretty good. One thing I wanted to note as well before we get into defense is Bodie Wild still has not signed his contract, so I'm probably going to offer him a contract because we don't have a depth defenseman, so we might as well give him a contract. Defensively, we got Wallen Sider, Bear, and Wollender, who's an 83, but he's probably not an 83 because I feel like it's statistical growth just for the start of the preseason, so he's probably actually like an 81. But yeah, he's probably going to be pretty solid. And then we also got Emil Vero, and also Josh Manson continues to drop off, which is very concerning because he is still being paid for 3 years. So yeah, that was probably a bad contract to trade for. Maybe we even actually play Manson as a depth defender. Yeah, I think I'm going to play Manson as the depth defender, and we could slot in like Bodie Wild here with Vero or something. And then goaltending wise, we got Tristan Jarry and Stuart Skinner. And then depth wise, at the moment, we have Vonnie Smith, I almost said Jamel Smith, and Nick Patan, so some good depth guys. And then in the system, in the AHL, we got Guerin playing with Sadikov and Laddie, so our former first round picks. Or actually, Laddie and Sadikov are second rounders, and Guerin is a first rounder, but those three should probably put up some decent numbers. I feel like Laddie's not going to make it. Sadikov might make it. And then Guerin definitely is going to make it next season. I'm really excited for Guerin just because he's got really good shooting and stuff. Second line, we got Weaver, Gru, Hanas, and then Soderblom, Pearson, Kevin Mackey, Lacerte, who's a defenseman. I don't know why he's playing there. I should put in a forward if I can. Yeah, I'll just throw in this Koch guy for a second. Just because Lacerte actually has good potential, so I would rather him being actually playing his position than being scratched, you know. So there you go. And we'll move Lacerte up. Yeah, hit there. We'll leave the rest of that the same. So yeah, basically we have some still good defensive prospects. McIsaac's not going to make it, which is really bad, but whatever. But Lacerte is a very good prospect to have down there. Same with Tuparainen, so really excited for those guys. And then also Rohan House, who was in the USA last season and the season before. He's going to be in our AHL starter at 19 years of age, so this guy's growing really fastly. And Nguyen's going to be the backup. Mui's going to be the depth goalie, and same with Eliasson, just because we have so much goaltending in our system. And then Berglund is the depth defenseman / forward. So yeah, let's sign Bodie Wild, and then also Yeah, we'll sign Buddy Wild. I think we'll put him in our lineup and then use Manson as depth, but Manson's contract is starting to look pretty bad, so we might want to eventually shift away from Manson, I would assume. So let's go to our contracts and get Buddy Wild back. He's probably not going to want too much, I would assume, still. Because I think he was after 2 last. Yeah, he was after 2 before, but now he only wants 925. Can I get him back at 2 years at 925? Because that would be a pretty good steal, I would assume. So we'll get him back for that. And I don't think we had any other guys holding out. No, we did not. Okay, that's good. Let's advance a couple days, even if it goes through a couple of the preseason games, just so we can get Buddy Wild back. He'll probably accept before the preseason, I would assume. And then we could slot him in. Yup, he is accepted. Good. So we're going to have to call him up from the AHL because I think he'll probably start there, right? Or no? Let's take a look. Sort by this. Yeah, there he is. So we'll call him up. That's a pretty good contract to get him at 2 years, one way at like 950. For an 80 overall defenseman, I think that's okay. And we'll take Manson out, even though Manson has some good chemistry there. Okay, Buddy Wild's a better fit, though. So, yeah, and Manson, yeah, like I said, Manson's probably somebody we need to trade away because this contract is starting to look a little bit iffy. I didn't give him that contract. That was given by the Pittsburgh Penguins, and then we traded for him immediately after he got signed. So, like, he's probably going to be... I think he actually retires, like, really early. Like, he's only 32, which is kind of concerning, so... But anyways, let's get started with the season simulation. Do a little bit of season simulating. I think we'll probably only do like 3 months, so till like December the 1st, just to see how this team simulates to start the year. Or actually, we might go to January the 1st. I don't know, because I don't even know how long this episode's been already, just because I had to make that jump cut from the off season to this part. But yeah, I think we should be a pretty good team, because Tom Wilson's going to be a good pickup. Like, our forward depth is pretty good. It's just more our defense if they could play good, and our goaltending situation if Tristan Jarry could win games and Stuart Skinner can. So in the preseason we go 3-3-1. Who led us in points? Dylan Larkin, what a surprise. Wall, I think his entry-level deal comes to an end this year, if I'm not mistaken, and he's probably going to want a lot of money because he's probably going to have a breakout year this year, I would assume, because usually the last year of the entry-level deal is when the player just plays like crazy good. So let's go 1 month at a time, which should go pretty quickly because of the sim speed on next gen. We lose 3-1, we lose 3-2 in a shootout. Not a good way to start off with. And then Guérin's been injured. Yikes. In the AHL, that's not good. We'll replace player. Okay, we're not off to a good start. I don't know what the problem is with it. And, okay, that's not good either. MCL sprain for Bear till November the 28th, so we'll just go replace player. That'll put in Manson. But yeah, not a great start. I don't know if it's William Wallinder or what, because maybe he's not actually at 83. And Lucas Raymond's off to a fantastic start after 1 month. Let me just take a look. What is our problem with our team right now? Ooh, -7 and stuff. That third line has not been good. And Tays dropped down to a 79. Okay, that's our problem. Our center depth is not as good as it used to be, because Tays dropped off like a cliff. Anybody else could play center on there? I'll play Tays as the 4th line center then. But yeah, this is not looking good, because Tays has dropped off a lot. He's only signed for 1 year only, but we might have to find a better center for this area if we want to actually win, because centers matter probably the most. How about defense? Which lines have been not great? Ooh, that top 6 pairing. Yeah, Vero's inexperienced. He's a depth defender, but 10 penalty minutes in 10 games, no points, and a -5. Yikes. Do I take Vero out? I don't think so. I don't know. It could be because of the injury to Bear, though. Who knows? And then Jerry's been fantastic despite losing games. And Stuart Skinner has been horrific. Holy crap. He played 1 game, allowed 4 goals on 18 shots. Yikes. Yeah, maybe he was not the backup option we needed. We might have to trade for a better backup at some point. But who knows? This team could still turn it around because sometimes you start seasons off really badly, but then you kind of bounce back. It seems like so. We'll do another month and see how we simulate. I think we'll go to January 1st in this episode, but hopefully this team could turn like a page a bit because we're off to a really bad start. Guerrero is back for the AHL. That's great news because he is our best prospect. And Zadina's been injured now. Wow. This is not a great start. These injuries are probably trying to get us to like miss the playoffs or something. Okay, we are losing way too many games here. This team should not be simulating this bad. I know we do have injury problems, but we should not be losing this much games. Kubalik's dropped down to an 82 now as well. We'll move Bert up to the top line. What is going on with this team? I have no idea what this team was. What's the problem with this team right now? If it's... Oh, Stuart Skinner. Yep, it's your 830 save percentage and a 532. What is this? And a Jerry, how's he been still? Yeah, Jerry's still playing pretty good. He's just not won games, but we got to get rid of Skinner. Like, ASAP. Like, I might not even sim much more in this episode. Just because he's been horrific. Like, that's kind of uncalled for. Because I didn't, like, I know he had a bad season last year, but still. Yeah, we might have to look for a new third line center. Because 3-12-1 and 1-9 in our last 10, that's not great. Okay, let's go a little tiny bit more. We'll go to the end of this month, even if that means losing a ton more games. But this team should not probably be losing this much, unless it's because of our center depth, or it's just because of Stuart Skinner in general. But damn, Stuart Skinner's not been a good backup. We have been slammed by injuries as well, which is not a good thing to have. So we'll move Kubalik down there. Bertuzzi doesn't really fit that line that well, so we'll move him to the top line for the time being. Wait, Zadina. No, I guess we'll just go like that still. And then Warren Fogle. Bam. But yeah, this team is not great. I do not know what the problem is. If it's just the inexperience of the defense as well. Yeah, our defensive core is not great. Manson's been a -7 since he's jumped into the lineup, so that injury definitely is concerning to what is it, Ethan Bear. And Vero's a -11. I do not like that. Like, he had some really good seasons in the AHL, but he's not looking good in the NHL. Yeah, it's probably the defense. We might need to upgrade that defense at some point. And then, yeah, Stuart Skinner has 1 win, but a 479 goals against. That's totally uncalled for. But yeah, Jerry's been really good. He's lost games, but he's got a 914 and a 279. Like, he's playing as good as he did last year. Yeah, Skinner was not the option we needed. But hopefully this team can somehow have a better second half of the season. So we'll throw in Soderblom again, which I don't remember where Soderblom was even. Oh, it's probably where Berglund was, actually. But yeah, this team is not off to a good start. Guerin's got 14 points in 12 games in the AHL, so he is looking really good. Yeah, this team might be tanking this year. Ethan Bear's back, which is good, because now we can actually take Manson back at the lineup. But I'm not liking Vero at all right now. I thought he was going to be much better. He's only got an 81 defensive awareness. Yeah, we're going to take Vero back out. Even though he is technically a good defensive prospect, he's not been good. We'll put Manson in instead, because Manson's probably more reliable. Taze was never injured, I don't think. But yeah, we are off to a really bad start. 5-18-2 at November the 30th. Like, this is not really what I expected after making the playoffs last year. So we're probably going to stop it around here. Let's take a look at our player stats on each line, just so you guys can kind of get a feel. So 10 points for Zadina, +2. -8 for Dylan Larkin, but he's probably on the penalty kill. Yikes. So I'll just scrub through this, and if you guys... Oh, that third line. Yeah, that third line's not been good. I don't know if it's Bertuzzi mostly or what. Bertuzzi's only got 5 points. He's only got 1 year left at 6. We might have to trade him away for a better defenseman. Yikes. I do not like how this team is trending right now. And then this fourth line's been bad as well. Oh, this is not good. Everybody on this team is really badly minused. Like, I have no idea where we even start with this. Like, now Jerry's not even playing good either. Like, this team should be a lot better than they are, in my opinion, at least. I don't know if it's, like I said, because of the center depth or what, but it's not looking good. Like, I do not know who we even should be trading, technically, but we should probably be making some trades next episode for sure. If you guys have any suggestions, let's take a quick look at the draft class, because maybe if we're doing really bad, maybe there's a franchise player, potentially. I don't know. Magnus Gunnarsson. I don't think this guy's franchise, probably. This guy could be a pretty good elite player. We don't really know anything about these prospects yet, but if the draft has a franchise player, maybe it's worth kind of tanking to an extent for 1 year, because we do need still that really good player, but this team should technically be a playoff team in my eyes, at least. But we're simulating like really, really badly. Like, let's take a look actually at the standings stuff to see what our goal differential is and stuff. Like, only 5 wins on the season. This is our worst season by far. Let's go down to the bottom, because we're definitely the bottom of the league. Actually, we're not the worst in league. We're the second worst. Actually, technically tied with the Los Angeles Kings, but we're only averaging 1.96 goals for per game, which is the worst in the league. So our offense is trash. Our goals against per game is one of the worst in the league as well. And then our power play percentage is 6.4%. Holy. And then our penalty kill is not great, but 6% on the power play. This is the worst team I've ever put together, I think. 3-10 and 1 on home ice, 2-8 and 1 on away. Okay. Let me take a look at the trading block just so I can show you guys what we could potentially go for next episode, but I don't think this team is going to make the playoffs. Like, unless we have a fantastic next half of the season, this team is not going to be a playoff team. But if there's anybody you think we should go for to try and like save this team from maybe going back into another rebuild again, let me know. I'm going to just go through this kind of quickly, but there is some really good players out there. Victor Olofsson, for example, but 4 years left. What the heck? M. Kiprusoff. What? You're joking me. Calgary drafted a Mika Kiprusoff, but not with 2 I's and 2 K's. That is actually hilarious. Huh. Okay. Never thought I would see that before. But yeah, there is definitely some options out there, but like I said, I do not know how to save this team. Like, this team should technically be better. I don't know if it's the goaltending situation, if it's the fact that we don't have a good third line center, if we don't have good defenders. It could be just a combination of everything that I just said, but man, this team should not be this bad. Like, I think Stuart Skinner's to blame for that. Like, I didn't expect him to have like a 4 goals against average when I signed him. Bergeron would definitely help that bottom 6, even if it is only for 1 year. He only fits to technically our top line, but he would probably be a good like third liner to bring in, and we could play Suzuki on the 4th line, but that trade value is a bit steep. And then we would also need to still bring in some defensemen, probably. We'd have to give up a lot probably to get him, because he still has good value. But there's definitely stuff out there to help our defense, I think, if we would like to. But at the same time, it might be risky, because we might miss the playoffs. Or we probably will miss the playoffs, I think, this year if we continue like this, at least, for sure. But yeah, there's definitely some stuff. Like Ryan Graves, 4 years. If he had 1 year, I would be like, maybe. Because in real life, Ryan Graves is kind of an underrated defensive defenseman. But yeah, there's definitely some stuff out there if you guys think they are necessary. And that is pretty much it out there. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Detroit Red Wings franchise mode. So in next episode, we might make a bunch of trades. If you guys could suggest me some, that would be very helpful. because I really need this team to pull their head out of their ass, because I did not expect them to start off this bad to this season. So let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.